The Audi Front UW 220 is an automotive milestone. It was one of the first German-made vehicles built according to a modern platform strategy. Classic car expert Christoph Bauer says the Audi Front is the result of a fusion between German manufacturers Horsch, DKW, Wanderer and Audi in 1932. The know-how for the front-wheel drive came from the Auto Union's DKW division. The engine from Wanderer and the sedan's wonderful body was produced by Horsch. Christoph says today it's standard practice, but back then, car makers sharing technical components was truly visionary. Between 1933 and 1938, 4,400 Audi fronts were produced. First with a cubic capacity of 2 litres and 40 horsepower, later with 2.5 litres and 50 horsepower. The car came in various styles, as a 4-door sedan, a sports sedan, a convertible and a roadster. Back then, front-wheel drive was still in its infancy. Christoph says with front-wheel drive, when you steer and accelerate at the same time, you feel the surging power at the wheel. Just a little in modern cars, but here he says it's like the steering wheel's being yanked out of your hands. Due to the high steering force and large turning circle, Audi front drivers can break into a sweat in city traffic or on winding country roads. But as early as the 1930s, the stylish 6-cylinder Audi found more suitable terrain. Christoph says the first German autobahn was opened to the public in 1932, the A555 between Cologne and Bonn. It was perfect for the Audi front with its top speed of 100 kilometers an hour. And even the chassis was state-of-the-art. Independent suspension in the front, a pendulum axis in the back, combined with the vehicle's relatively low centre of gravity for the time. It makes for relaxed driving, even today.
Muss man sagen, da ist man auch heute noch sehr entspannt unterwegs.
So relax and enjoy the sights of Tuscany. The high season, San Gimignano is abuzz with tourists. Life in the medieval Tuscan town has now slowed to a leisurely pace. Christoph says the car feels very luxurious, apart from the gear shift. This #1 symbolised Audi's high standards since 1923. With the front, Audi entered the upper middle-class market. The car's main selling point was its modern technology, front-wheel drive, a box frame and a straight-six engine with an impressive 40 horsepower. Christoph says the Audi front is also a feast for the eyes with its shapely lines. This roadster's body was made by Gläser, a coachbuilder from Dresden.
Die stammt aus dem Hause Gläser in Dresden.
Only a minority of Audi front models received a closed car body in the Horsch plant in neighbouring Zwickau. Most Audi front customers opted for the open-top versions produced by convertible specialist Gläser in Dresden. They came with a choice of 4 or 2 side windows. The dashboard gear shift is a typical feature of early front-wheel drives. Christoph Bauer says the letters UW in the car's name stood for Umgekehrter Wanderer, the back-to-front Wanderer. It referred to the fact that the car featured a Wanderer engine that had been turned around to drive wheels which were now ahead of the engine. Unfortunately, the gear shift and transmission diminished the driving pleasure. This is the 4th gear. Christoph says that in 1933 the press hailed the Audi front's gear shift as one of the most precise and smooth in a front-wheel drive. But he says that's not true from today's perspective. It rattles and shudders, especially in the 1st and 2nd gears. The 4th and 5th aren't bad, provided you can find them. That's not so easy, as this old gear shift has metre-long rods going into the gearbox in front. so it's not very precise. And you have to be careful with the reverse. There's no lock for it, and changing into the wrong gear can be costly. Only the third and fourth gears are synchronized, but then again, what trendsetter is perfect? Christoph says Audi embarked on a new era with the Audi Front. To this day, front-wheel drive is still one of the car maker's trademarks, so the front is always a hit at marketing events. Bauer says it was the first upper-middle-class European car to feature a six-cylinder engine and front-wheel drive, so definitely a milestone in automobile history. The Audi Front was a trailblazer in many ways. Way back in the 1930s, the iconic car already lived up to the car maker's later slogan, Vorsprung durch Technik, or advancement through technology.